Carol Burdette, CEO of United Way of Anderson County. I want to thank Mr. Burns and County Council for the Anderson County TV channel. And I also want to thank them for the opportunity to help bring to you a new program, Anderson County Serves. This is going to be an opportunity for you to watch, to see what's happening within the nonprofit community, how nonprofits and service clubs are meeting the needs of those in Anderson County. United Way has been around for 75 years, so it seems appropriate that we would start out highlighting our work. But you know what? 75 years ago when we were formed, there are 5 organizations still around that were partnering with us at that time. The American Red Cross, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, the Salvation Army, and the YMCA. You'll see in upcoming segments the opportunity to see what they're doing these days. And I can promise you that every time you watch and listen to this segment, you're going to learn things about service in Anderson County that you have never known before. You'll have an opportunity to see what services are available. But more importantly, you will find that there may be ways that you can use your time, talent, and treasure to make your own community a better place. And check out United Way's website, unitedwayofanderson.org. For questions about United Way of Anderson County, please give us a call at 864-226-3438. Check out our Facebook page, or just come visit us at the corner of Murray Avenue and Greenville Street in downtown Anderson.
YVC has been serving in Anderson County for over 25 years, serving the community in unique ways that engage the youth in all of the volunteer opportunities. At YVC of Anderson County, we strive to engage the youth in creative and unique service opportunities, and in 2018, we were the National Affiliate of the Year.
75 years of caring. Over the 75 years that United Way has been in Anderson County, we've had many homes. We were at the Palmetto Building, we were at the SunTrust Building, we were even at the corner of Murray and Greenville Street. But 8 years ago, we decided to buy our own building and have our own home. When we bought our building, we took out a 20-year loan. Thankfully, at the end of the 9th year, 11 years early, we will be debt-free. And what does that mean? That means that we can do more for our community. For over a decade, United Way of Anderson County has been providing a call line in our community. It's for information to connect individuals who have needs to the resources in our community. You dial those 3 numbers and you are connected with an operator that has a database of the organizations within Anderson County that can help people find their assistance when whatever it is. Maybe you have an elderly parent and you're looking for assistance. They will know where to send you. Maybe you have a child that needs some special assistance. They will know the organization in our community that provides that help. Maybe you're hungry and you need to know where to go to get food. It is as simple as dialing 211. In 2006, when we did a community impact agenda, we brought in well over 100 volunteers and asked the question to them, what are the most pressing needs of our community? How can we get to the root causes of things and make a true difference in our community? The community we call home, the community where we live, work, and play. So we came up with an idea that we wanted to look into the future. We wanted to impact education by ensuring that every Anderson County student would graduate from high school. So how would we do that? We did several things that I think have impacted that. We wanted to look at 3rd grade reading scores. Do you realize that state agencies determine the number of beds in a prison based on 3rd grade reading scores? If they do not learn how to read, they will not be successful in completing high school. So what could we do to help children learn to read? Well, we've done several things. One of the most important is that we learned from research that children do not learn when they're hungry. So we launched in 2010 the Snack Pack program. This would allow us to feed children on Fridays with a small bag of food that they would carry home in the event that they had little to no food. And these were children identified by the school system as meeting that criteria. They took this bag of food home so that when they came back into school on Monday, they were ready to learn. Over the past several years, we have fed anywhere from 800 to 1,000 children around Anderson County every Friday. We also learned that if we could provide books to children, we could make a difference in their reading scores. So we've done books at extension libraries, our little library here on site at United Way, and we've also done book mailings. We have tried to put books in the hands of children. We will be launching in the summer of 2022 something called Camp Iroc. This is a fun summer reading camp where students are picked up by a bus, taken to a school location where they get a good breakfast. They have about 3 hours of very intense reading instruction. Then they have lunch, and then they have fun. They will be taken by the Y on field trips. They will have the opportunity to learn to swim. We piloted this program in District 1 2 years ago. It was very successful. 64 students were able to be promoted to 4th grade, and 62 out of the 64 learned to swim. Some of them had never even been in a swimming pool. We are looking forward next year to launching this program in partnership with our school districts, the YMCA, and Anderson University. Education is extremely important to the future of our community. If we want to change our future and make it brighter, it will all happen with our children. But we also want to make sure that families and individuals are financially stable. In 2010, we started the VITA program, Volunteers in Tax Assistance. This is a program where people who may not be able to afford an accountant can have their taxes prepared for free. It's not the free part that I like. The part that I like is they're not tempted to take out a high interest loan. They get back all of the money they deserve, and they are likely to spend it in Anderson County. In 2019, the economic impact from our VITA program was over $4 million. We have teamed up with Anderson Interfaith Ministries, and they are providing our VITA program and much more. We want people to know how to get a mortgage. We want them to understand their insurance, and so much more that middle-class residents take for granted. This is going to be happening at our new Financial Stability Center. Lastly, we looked at our future by looking at the health of our citizens. So many of our citizens are obese. In fact, it is over 70%. So how do we change that? Well, we looked at ways that we can help bring organizations together that work on nutrition and physical activity, and formed a coalition for Eat Smart, Move More, helping people understand how to live a healthier lifestyle. And then also, we know that communities are racked with people who suffer from mental illness. So we are now one of the certified organizations to do mental health first aid. That is to help everyday citizens learn how to identify the signs of someone suffering from mental illness. Not that they can be the physician, but that they can offer a way to connect that individual with the care they need that is available within our community. Now, I could go on and on as we look to the future, but then we know that there are people that are in crisis in our community every day. So we continue to work to meet the basic needs of those in our community. Whether it is rent or utility assistance, food, or maybe their house has been burned to the ground and they are left with nothing. We continue to support agencies that support these different issues within our community in all areas: education, financial stability, health, and basic needs.
The United Way is probably one of the best agencies as it relates to creating partnerships. The work that the United Way does in its interaction with other not-for-profits in the community is just a great way for those agencies, the United Way, and people in need to all get connected. So the United Way is a tremendous convener, and I think by supporting the United Way, you support that resource for the community to have groups come together and work together and meet needs. Yeah. So probably back in 2006 or so, a number of us were able to get together with United Way. That included J.T. Bozeman, Ms. Juana Slade, Dr. Beatrice Thompson, and say, that we're looking for a way in which African Americans in particular in our community could get together, learn more about the agencies and opportunities, but also look for ways in which we could get engaged in things like boards and other activities in a more meaningful way. And the United Way, because, as I mentioned earlier, they're this great convener, that was just a great place for us to start, to have that conversation. And it has grown over the years, where we also felt like, in order to be involved, we wanted to be a part of the giving. And so the African American Leadership Society is also a giving level for the United Way. We think that's important. The United Way has allowed and worked with us to be able to channel those resources to things like health fairs, college fairs. We are looking to begin to reestablish minority health coalitions, but we also are able to do things like support Camp Iroc and other United Way initiatives through our giving, but is very much connected to what we think is an important role to play for inclusivity in the entire community. The United Way has a long history here in the community, and is one of many organizations that have that long history. And I think the strength of the United Way and all those institutions, including our hospital and our local government and our not-for-profits, is that they have been able to work together to make great strides. I think this pandemic and how, as a community, we've addressed some of those challenges is a great example. So the United Way has been right there in the middle of how, as a community, we've been able to come together and meet needs and make sure that people have the things that they do need through these very challenging times. And so I think that's something that I want people to know, and that supporting the United Way helps continue to forward that mission.
In 2001, United Way of Anderson County joined with United Ways across the country to create what was called Women's Leadership Initiative Councils. These councils were women that would come together to determine a cause in the community that they could put their hands, their dollars, and their voices into making a difference. United Way of Anderson County chose a group of 12 women. We call them the founders of our Women's Leadership Council. And they came together and devised a way with over 100 women in Anderson County to come together at a focus group to talk about what were the most pressing issues. What could they put their dollars behind? What would they want to spend their time doing? And so when they came together, they had this long list of issues, all of them very important. But what they realized was that so many of those issues were results of teen pregnancies. Young girls having babies themselves. They were not financially ready, nor were they emotionally ready to be a parent. So when we began that work, I was a volunteer and the founding chair of the Women's Leadership Council. But quickly, as I became the CEO in 2002, we were on our way to figuring out how we were going to prevent teen pregnancies. How could we reduce that number around the county? We started with School District 3, a program that proved to be highly successful very quickly. And how did that happen? We were using a curriculum that was abstinence first. It wasn't just for girls, it was for girls and boys. at Star Iva Middle School. In no time, we had over 80% reduction in teen pregnancies in School District 3. It was so successful that we were featured in Time magazine in 2009, showing that what we were doing was really working. That made other districts around the county envious and wanted to adopt this same program within their school districts. Fast forward to just a few years ago, we were able to add on all of the districts to incorporate this program in districts 1 through 5. Yes, we want to keep doing that work, but what we realized is that there were other opportunities to go from teen pregnancy prevention and it being a root cause of so many issues. What else could we do? So in 2006, we developed a community impact agenda. Here we are at United Way at what we call the Mcdougall Nook. This is the place where we honor those, Douglas C. McDougall Sr. and Frank Brownlee, who started the community chest of Anderson, later to become United Way of Anderson County. It was 1946 and a lot had just happened. World War II had just come to an end and people were hungry, homeless, and unemployment was very high. It was a volunteer-driven opportunity to help those in the community. Not much has changed over the years as far as an organization being volunteer-driven. So many volunteers over the 7.5 decades that we've been around have given their time, their talent, and their treasure to make this organization an organization that helps those in need in Anderson County, just like in 1946. So as we stand here and we look back over the 75 years, it brings us right back to last year. Greg Shore, our current board chair, was preparing for his term as COVID hit. It was March. And between March and June 30th of 2020, we were able to help over 37,000 people. We were able to distribute almost immediately over $60,000 to help feed the hungry. Greg and our board had unwavering support for those of us working during that time, ensuring that people were not going to be on the streets hungry, that the homeless had a place to go take a shower, that we were helping in every way possible to assist the organizations on the front lines helping people. That's what we've been doing for 75 years.
I think what drew me to the United Way was to give back to the community. I was born and raised here in Anderson County. As the EMS director and also as the coroner, I've seen so many needs in our community firsthand, and the United Way supports agencies that help those in need, and that's really what intrigued me the most. Of course, I have more time now to donate my time to the organization, but it's just such a valuable organization, and how it gives back to the community through the charities that it supports. And our board is made up of like-minded people in the community that wants to make Anderson County a better place to live, work, and play. And I'm just excited to be part of it. It makes me feel good to know that the dollars that I'm putting into United Way goes to help those in need, and that the overhead and expenses are very small. So it's a good return on the dollars that I invest. And there's a lot of agencies that want my dollars, and some of them I don't know, and I don't know about them. And I do know that United Way has a history of giving the money back to the local community. You can designate money to go to certain agencies that you want to support through the United Way. So it's just a great organization and a great vehicle to give back to the community. My current role is chairman of the board. I've been on the board for several years, and it just gives me joy to know that I'm part of something that's big, and there are so many people behind the scenes, the staff at United Way, the volunteers. It's just a very great organization to be part of. I think it's very important that we help grow the United Way's volunteer program, getting people involved not only with their money but with their time. That's what makes an organization great, and we have a great community here. We have so much going on in Anderson County, and but there are still people in need. There are people that are homeless. And I think it's very important that we provide them a place to lay their head down, make sure they're fed, have a meal. We have other issues in the county too, whether it's drug addiction or it's mental health, and those are areas where our agencies, our not-for-profit agencies, are helping those in need. So I really feel like that we're filling a void. I think the needs in Anderson County will continue to be out there, and I think that we need to have our finger on the pulse of what's going on and where those needs are, and that we work toward making it a better place.